Hey guys, so it's been a while. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge that the integrity piece regarding how I said I was going to show up every week in these platforms, in these spaces, and I haven't. And I take full ownership of that. And moving forward, I really just want to let you know that what feels really aligned for me and integrity for me now is to create when I feel the pull to create, not from a forced place, not from a I have to place because I said I would every week, but from a place where the things that I desire to share are really coming from my heart, and I feel like it flows through me with ease as opposed to, oh God, what am I going to share this week? Because to be honest, I'm not always inspired every week to share. And that's been the case for the last few weeks, right? It's why I haven't, because I've really been in this space of honoring what's actually true for me and how in that honoring is actually part of my bliss, right? And part of the Bliss project. So of course, this is part of the journey and part of the learnings and the lessons, because Bliss is steering the ship, and she's really, really, really powerfully pulling me and calling me forward into the highest version of myself, and the version of myself that really is aligned with my deepest integrity, because for me, integrity is my highest value. So when I am out of integrity and I say I'm going to do something and I don't, I really reflect on that, and I really take the time to look at and explore why. Why have I said that I would do this and then I haven't shown up? And where do I get to also change my mind and decide to actually do it differently? And I guess that's where I'm kind of sitting with this, is that, we're human beings, and while my intentions were pure and from so much love and so much heart to share with you every week about what's going on, my reality is that's not how I function. That's not how I work. That's not how, it's not what feels good for me, right? And the Bliss Project is about really returning to the bliss, really returning to my joy, really returning to the things that actually feel really good for me. So allowing myself to be my human in that, and just journey back to my truth and actually just standing in that, because I think especially in this time as entrepreneurs, as people in business, as creators, there is an expectation of this is how it has to be, and you get trained and taught and being like, well, you have to be showing up every week consistently, blah, 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 blah. And while yes, that's great, and if that's if that's what feels good for you and it naturally happens for you, perfect. But if it doesn't, then we get to rewrite the story, and we get to rewrite the script and get to choose the bliss, right? Because essentially for me, and particularly over the last probably 4 weeks, the fragility of life and the real acknowledgement that nothing is actually promised to us, no day, no moment is actually promised to us, that life can literally be taken from us in any given moment, really drives home my deepest desire to create a life that feels really, really good, that feels really, really good, that feels juicy, that feels aligned. That's really about me, not about anyone else, but about me. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to be laying on my bed. I'm the one that's going to be reflecting about my life, and I'm going to be the one that has regrets, if I have any. It's not my best friend or my partner or my kids that are going to be lying there regretting that mummy didn't do this. I'm going to be the one lying there going, oh fuck, I wish I'd done this. So with that being the case, and with knowing that, I'm really committed to allowing myself to create my life for me, and in that trusting that whatever is meant to be happening is happening. And I really have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm willing to do what it takes to figure it out, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, that's perfect too. Because you know what, I'm so done with the perfection. I'm so done with worrying about how others are perceiving me. Oh God, so actually that trips me into something I really did want to share, and it was a really beautiful moment for me of I had my first hater experience, so obviously I've made it. But I really wanted to share my process with this because it was actually a really awesome reflection of the work that I have put in and how far I have come within myself, and the embodiment of who I am and what I teach, essentially, really just anchored in even more. It was so gorgeous. I loved it. So on Sunday morning, I woke up to a very nasty post on Facebook from a guy who I used to know when I lived in Cairns. Well, no, I knew his family more than anything, but apparently he thinks he knew me. Who had, written up this nasty post saying that I was a fraud, essentially, that I had been teaching people how to find their soulmate, and then I had, my relationship had ended, and with the man that I had trapped, and now I had, taken him for everything, and it was just horrific. And when I first read it, I got really shaky and what the frick, went into fight, automatically wanted to just and get on there and respond. And it was just wow, this actually really hurts my feelings, because I've had, the times that I have known this person or engaged with this person, I've never been anything but kind and loving towards him, right? And it was a guy. And his family, I've always had so much respect and love for his family. So to receive that out of nowhere, I haven't spoken to this guy in 9 years, if not more. And even then, I'd only really had 2 or 3 conversations with him in my entire life, type thing, So it was really bizarre. It was really bizarre. So anyway, it happened. I automatically went to respond. I'm like, nope, I know better. Put it down. Allow myself to go and be with what was there, because I was obviously very triggered. So I put the phone down. My girlfriends came into the bedroom, and I was like, look what's just happened. We talked about it. And then for the next kind of few hours, I just allowed myself to be in the process of the emotions, where I was in reflection of okay, why has this triggered me so much? Is there some truth to this? I felt the anger, I felt the shock, I felt the disbelief, and just allowed myself to journey all of the emotions and feelings until I really landed in a place of truth and knowing within myself of that what he had written is not true, and that I know that that was not true, and I know that if that's what he believes is true, then there's nothing I can actually do about that. But it doesn't mean that I actually have to take his stuff on board and make it my own, because I'm very sure, I'm very certain, I know who I am. I know exactly what happened in my relationship. I know exactly what is navigating and happening now in that relationship. And I know that the work that I do and have done is incredibly powerful, because it's focused on the relationship with self. And this is where the reflection was, because I was able to get to a point of oh, actually, no, this is not true. And I get to stand in my power with this. And that, I'm not for everyone. Not everyone's going to like me. And some people, yes, they're going to watch my stuff on socials and they're going to think or make up an idea or story or perceive me in a certain way. That's not true. Unless you're actually in my life, unless you're actually reaching out to me and having conversations and asking actual questions and allowing me to respond rather than creating all these stories in your head, then you actually have no idea who I am. And this is the thing with social media, right? It's people can watch others and be make assumptions about someone's life without having any freaking idea or taking the time to actually reach out and have a conversation. Had he reached out and had a conversation with me and asked, sweet, I'm totally down to have a convo with you, if it's coming from a loving and respectful place. But if you sit there and publicly name me, try to shame me, try to tear me down, then I will come back and I will defend myself 100%. And that's what I did. I wrote a really, really powerful post. If you want to go check it out, it's on my Facebook page, just in response to what he wrote, and from a really loving place within myself, but also a fuck you, like go fuck yourself, essentially. Because I'm like, no, this is not okay. And it's this behavior that happens online so often that really is unacceptable, and these people are the fucking problem, right? So that whole experience, and literally after I'd written that post, it was clean, it was gone, it was like water off a duck's back. There was another guy that was actually tagged in the post as well, and he reached out to me the next day and was like, hey, how are you? It really shook me. I just wanted to check in and see how you are. And I'm like, I'm fucking great. Like, I know who I am. I know it's not true. And I'm so anchored in that I don't care what you say, because I know who I am. You can attack me, you can fucking throw anything you like at me, but I know who I am. I love who I am. I know that everything that I do is deeply rooted in love and integrity. And that, at the end of the day, is all that matters. I don't care. Like, there's people out there that, and this is another thing I shared in the post, is like, there's a different version of you. Every person that you've ever met has a different version of you and a different thought about you. So some you are the villain, some you're the hero, some you're full of love, some you're a bitch, some you're the kindest person in the world. Like, every person you have ever engaged in has a different perspective and version of you in their minds based on who they are, who they were at the time that you met, their beliefs, their perspectives, their agenda, like all of it, right? So there was two ways I could have responded to that. Gone back to him, tried to pander to his shit, tried to explain to him that it's not true and say, no, this is not who I am, and defend myself. Or I could sit in my truth and allow it to be a reflection, yeah? And that's what I chose. And that's the empowering piece. That's where you just go, yes, I am a powerful mother trucker, because it doesn't matter what anyone says or does. You can't touch me. And that, I just got covered in goosebumps. That is a powerful, powerful human being. And I feel that. After that, I was just like, pfft. And the human in me still experienced hurt feelings, right? But it was the ability to actually come back to that knowing as quickly as I did, that is just like, wow, the work I have done has really paid off. Because if that had happened a couple of years ago, I would have been messaging him, oh my God, I'm sorry, what is it? Why is this happening? Why are you doing this to me? All of that crap. Whereas now it's just like, it's a no. It's a no, and get out of my space. I don't have time for your negativity, your projections. If you're unwilling to look at yourself, if you're unwilling to be self-aware and acknowledge that this is actually about you and not me, then go away. I don't have space for this in my life. And this is how you get to be as well, right? You get to really be in that energy of, this is my home. This is my home. My social media is my home. It's my space, and I get to choose who comes into it, who comes into my space, and who I kindly kick out, and sometimes not so kindly kick out. It's really important that we get to honor that. We don't have to, even family, you don't have to settle for anything or anyone in your life. Not at all. You get to choose who you allow into your sphere. And in doing that, it actually allows you to tap into bliss more, because it's like, you feel empowered in your life. You feel control of your life. You feel the freedom to choose, which is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Really powerful thing, and really important, right? Of like, it's liberation. It's that feeling of like, I don't have to put up with anything that I don't want to put up with. Ever. And I have to say that's probably been the biggest journey for me in the last 6 weeks, since the releasing of my relationship as it was. My best friend, her mum passed away a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I can't remember, very recently. And it's just, it's it's just been such a humbling experience and a realization of just how precious this life is and how precious our time on this planet is and how nothing's promised to us and how important it is to take advantage of every opportunity, every moment that we can, to grasp it and grab it and just go for it and live a life, you know, because it's not promised that you'll wake up tomorrow. So how is it that you want to experience? If you knew that today was the last day on earth for you, what would you be doing? Who would you be sending messages of love to? How would you be spending your time? Yeah, it's like sitting in this, and it's been so present for me. And another thing that's been super amazing is not having to work, not having to go to a job over the last few weeks while I've been navigating a separation, supporting my best friend losing her mum. That's a lot. That takes a huge emotional toll on you. There's a lot of integration that needs to happen in these processes and these experiences. And I love that I said yes to an opportunity and fuck, this just it blows my mind how the life works, right? And how universe and divine supports us in all ways of like saying yes to my business, my affiliate marketing business in September and October means that I was set up to be able to, and same for Jax actually, was set up to be able to be so supported financially through this time. It's like literally this whole year so far. That I haven't had to worry about money. I haven't had to show up for clients, because there's been times when I actually could barely string 2 words together. I couldn't have shown up for clients in that space, you know? So just really like, thank you, divine. Thank you for always leading us in the way and the direction. And if we if we're willing and open to listen and follow the breadcrumbs, we're always so supported. It's incredible. I've made so much money, and like probably the first 2 weeks after I split with G, that and I was barely working because I was so supported by my team and my community, and then I kept winning money. It was just insane. I was like, yes. And I believe a part of that is in the choosing of self, right? Of like, actually my bliss is requiring of me to choose me, to love me more than I love anyone else, to really prioritize me and make decisions based on my happiness, not everyone else's, which is something that I have definitely fallen into the trap of doing a lot. She has required me to choose me fully, and in doing that, it has meant that I've had to release so much and let go of so much, and then also allow myself to really fall and land in support and being held. And oh my God, I feel like this is just the beginning. Like the amount of expansion and growth I've experienced in myself in since like January when I ended the relationship, it just continues to blow my mind. I feel like I have gone through a million rebirths, and I am not the same person I was literally 2 months ago. It's freaking magical. And it was literally in the blink of a moment of a split decision, a decision to choose something different, and a decision to really honor myself and choose myself, that everything has changed. Everything has shifted. Everything has transpired to support me and hold me and show me what's actually possible. And I can feel my joy coming back. I can feel like actual true inner bliss coming back. It's like I love being in my home again. I love being alone and just being by myself. I'm really learning how much of an introvert I am and how much I love just being alone. My sex, my libido, everything has come back online. My business is just effortlessly growing. My leadership has just up-leveled and expanded. Oh, my self-trust and my belief in myself has just gone to another level. And holding that integrity with the decision to leave, because I actually said to G about 8 months ago, that he needed to get some help. He needed to go see someone, a psychologist, or do some kind of men's work. Otherwise, I was out. And it got 6 months, and I had to make that decision. I had to stand in my truth and actually honor the integrity of that word, right? And just be like, no, enough is done. And through that whole process, Bliss was leading the way. She was driving the ship. She's still steering the ship. You know, times when I'm like, someone will invite me to something and she's literally like, no, and then my FOMO comes in and I'm like, but I'm gonna miss out. And it's like, she's just like, no, it's not for you. It's not for you. So I'm really loving the experience of developing even deeper self-trust, like deeper self-trust, and the spaciousness that I'm allowing myself to experience and being in the stillness and the silence, that is allowing me to actually really access the parts of myself that I feel I've been so disconnected from for a really long time. And just realizing that the bliss is in those simple moments, right? The simplicity, the bliss is in the stillness, and the bliss is in choosing not to go to the event when you're already tired, or not to get up early when you haven't slept well the night before. Just the simplest things, buying organic fruit and vegetables, a big deep breath, and presence. Oof. So yeah, there's been a lot happening, which is really cool, and it's actually quite nice to have plenty to fill you all in on, and inspire you, hopefully, or support you in some kind of way if you're navigating whatever it is that you're navigating. But I really want to remind you that, this is your one life. We don't know. We can have beliefs and we can, believe that whatever happens after we leave this earth plane, but essentially we have no idea. And we don't know if we'll get another chance at this. So I really just want to invite you and inspire you to really choose to live your life from a place of choosing you. Really choose to honor yourself and prioritize your bliss and your joy in your life, because you're living for you, right? It's like you get to live your life for you. Yes, you possibly have kids and a relationship and a partner, but that's not all an added bonus to the life that you create with yourself and the relationship you create with yourself, right? And that has to be the number one priority. It has to be the thing that you choose time and time again. So I invite you and I encourage you to start developing that self-trust, start allowing yourself to tap into more of that and tap back into your intuition and start doing the things that actually light you up, just for you, for no one else, just for you. What are those things? And P.S., I am loving not using filters. I have not used a filter on my face, in my stories, reels, anything all year so far. So it's been 2 months, and holy guacamole. The shifts in the relationship that I have with myself, I'm navigating so much and really looking at where I'm terrified of the aging process and noticing the negative thoughts that do come through of like, oh, the lines and oh, the wrinkles and oh, the and oh, you're looking, oh, like all of that stuff. And it's actually pulling me into a deeper self-love, a deeper ownership of self, a deeper love of self, a deeper acceptance and acknowledgement of the gift of growing old. And there's still the piece there that's like, oh, maybe I should just get some Botox and stuff. But I feel like I love myself more in what I'm seeing, because I'm not pretending. Like, I was finding when I was using the filters, I would have the filter on and I would look like my skin would look amazing, and then I would actually see a picture of myself and it would be like a shock, because it's like, oh fuck, I don't actually look like that. So it was creating this real like disconnect with myself, and this like disharmony of, oh, this is what I actually look like, but this is what I wish I looked like. And a lack of acceptance of where I'm actually in my, the season of my life I'm actually in. which is actually really beautiful and something that not everyone gets to experience. So it's still a real journey, and the acceptance of that, and something I continue to kind of lean into and notice and pour love into in the ways that I can. But I'll keep you posted on that one for sure, because it's a journey. But definitely noticing that I feel so much freer in my expression, and I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. Yeah, it's like, this is just who I am. This is me. Raw, real, beautiful. All right, my loves, I hope that made some kind of sense for you. I don't plan these at all. I just jump on and chat, and hope that whatever comes through is exactly what is needed for those who choose to listen to this. And if you don't, that's perfect too. Also, if you are interested in learning about my affiliate marketing business that is literally changing my life in the most incredible ways, please jump over and join me on Facebook. Come say hello, or reach out to me and let me know you're curious and where you've come from, if you're on YouTube or on the podcast, and just say, hey, Nikki, I have heard you mention this affiliate marketing business, would love to know more, and I can tap you into some info. Easy as peasy as that. And if not, perfect too. And I hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and I will see you again when I see you, because I don't know when that's going to be. Yay. Lots of love. Bye.